Welcome to Amanecer. I'm Andres Gutierrez, having a very interesting pre-show conversation with my guest here and our following guest for the second segment, talking about Yiddish or Jewish culture all over the world, and we've known for a long time that certainly that it's present in Hispanic culture in Mexico and in Spain. But we're going to be talking about Argentina. With me on this first segment is Mark Freeman. Welcome to El Amanecer.
Thank you.
You're an independent filmmaker, and you're connected with a film company here in the Bay Area.
Right, a nonprofit called Fine Line Productions.
Fine Line Productions.
Right.
Tell me about the genesis of this documentary. It's going to premiere on the theatrical premiere on March 11th. Tell me how you latched onto the theme and what it took to make it.
Okay. Last year, 1989, was the 100th anniversary of the founding of the first Jewish agricultural colony in Argentina. It was 100 years ago that the first groups of Jewish pioneers escaping from the Russian pogroms came to Argentina. And I had the opportunity to spend a year living and working and filming in Argentina. And the result is this half-an-hour documentary that will be at the Roxy on noon on March the 11th.
Yeah. It's not... Argentina, first of all, is a fascinating place because you have a strong Italian influence, you have a strong European influence, and we're familiar with the Perón dynasty and his relationship to Hitler and Mussolini. But why is it that all these groups of people, and now in your documentary you're talking about Russian Jewry,
right,
immigrating to Argentina? Why has it been a mecca for all these?
Well, we're talking about the beginning of the 20th century or the end of the 19th century, and Argentina was a wealthy, underpopulated country that needed people to work the land. And
so like the United States, they're encouraged immigration.
exactly, exactly the point. And the Jews that came to Argentina from Russia were often coming from the same villages that Jews came from to come to the United States. And so there are a lot of split families, in fact.
Yeah. Well, we have some video, a little clip from your documentary that we're going to take a look at right now, and we'll continue talking about the film. Let's take a look now.
Cansado traigo los ojos por la senda del camino. Cansado traigo los ojos por la senda del camino.
What is a Jewish gaucho?
Es lo que soy yo. Con eso demuestro ser un gaucho judío. Usted vio hoy caballo, vaca, herramienta, tractor, mujeres, bate cocido, todo esto es tradicional, es lo clásico, es lo típico de nosotros.
It's Monday morning in a small town. People pass by the Bank of Israel, the Barendahurst Synagogue, the Hebrew School. A day like any other in Mosesville, province of Santa Fe, Argentina, South America.
Y hay que creer, muñeca, muñeca. Cuando alguno me da un canto, es que es un canto clavado.
At the turn of the century, millions of Russian Jews fled persecution and pogroms. To make America was their dream. For thousands, this dream came true in Spanish, Hacer America. In Argentina, Jewish immigrants found land and freedom. Aaron Raiz was an eyewitness to a Russian pogrom.
Nosotros estuvimos en casa estando, pasaron gente a decir que en el centro es un pogrom, que es una matanza tremenda, no con balas, con cuchillos y mataban a la gente no con balas, con cuchillos. Era horrible. Pues lo llevaron al cementerio y han hecho una fosa como de 300, 400 metros y tiraban todo a la gente muerta, lo tiraban en la fosa así nomás. La Argentina nos abrió las puertas y abrió con los brazos abiertos nos recibieron acá en el país.
The immigrants first arrived in Buenos Aires. Some stayed in the city, but others were determined to build new lives on the Argentine pampas.
Fascinating when you talk about the migration of peoples always seeking a better life. It seems like we're talking about the universal immigrant.
I think so, and you know, the Jews are still trying to get out of Russia.
I wonder now with the tremendous changes that are taking place in Eastern Europe and certainly in Russian society, if any of these immigrants living in Argentina desire to go back to look up old relatives or check out the motherland.
I don't think so. My sense is that most of the Jews there now have been there 3 or more generations, and Argentina is so far removed from Europe that a lot of family ties were just broken.
Mm-hmm. How many colonies still exist? The film talked about the colonization associations.
Right. Well, the colonies right now don't exist as units. There are towns that have traditionally been Jewish settlements, but for the most part, now the sons and daughters and grandchildren of the pioneers have moved back to the cities, and the towns are more or less ghost towns.
In the film, we saw what looked like a Jewish temple. With the Star of David.
Right.
Now, has the religion survived?
Oh, certainly, certainly. The Jewish community is very well organized and very strong in Argentina. There's maybe 300,000 Jewish people living in Argentina.
You were telling me before the show that Jews were very instrumental in the progress of Argentinian cinema prior to World War II. Tell me about that.
Well, one of the pioneers of Argentine cinema was Max Glucksmann, who owned one of the first production and distribution companies in Argentina. And in fact, I was able to discover a newsreel that his company distributed that was shot in the 1920s, silent, about the colonies, that had footage showing daily life in the colonies and intertitles in Yiddish and in Spanish.
Fascinating, and it's rare footage. It hasn't been seen before.
Jews made a lot of contributions to Argentina. It was on the colonies that the Jewish people first had cooperatives, agricultural cooperatives, and it was the first cooperatives in Argentina. And now cooperatives are very important in Argentina economically.
Yeah. Before we run out of time, we want to show a telephone number for anyone wanting information on the premiere of the film. The Yidishe Gauchos, premiering at the Roxy Cinema on March 11th. To call for information, especially for tickets in this area, code 415-849-2710. Once again, that's 849-2710. You were telling me that another screening has been added?
That's right. This screening is at noon on Sunday, March the 11th, and the film, the Yidishe Gauchos, will be shown with another film about Jews from Turkey who speak Ladino called The Trees Cry for Rain, and the Coro Hispano will also play at that performance. But we've added an overflow. It looks like we might get a sellout, so there's going to be another screening at 5 o'clock. And if you want to buy advance tickets for the first show, you can call the Film Arts Foundation in San Francisco, one of the co-sponsors of the presentation.
Well, that's an interesting subject, the sponsors. You were telling me that there's been an unusual collaboration between various community groups.
Right. This film is very interesting in the sense that it's brought together both the Latin and Jewish communities, and this screening is sponsored, as I said, by the Film Arts Foundation, but also by Cine Acción, which is a association of independent Latino filmmakers, the Jewish Film Festival, and the Jewish Community Center of San Francisco.
Yeah. Also, the Magnus Museum is going to continue showing the film?
Right. I had the opportunity to curate a show that includes the video as well as 26 photographs, maps, and other things relating to the colonies that will be at the Magnus Museum in Berkeley from now until the 20th of May.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Tree Cries for Rain, the other film that's going to be shown with Yidishe Gauchos.
Well, we're calling the program Tales of the Diaspora, which means the scattered Jewish communities. And we have one film, the Yidishe Gauchos, about Jews who speak Spanish, but who originally came from Russia, where it was the Ashkenazi tradition and people spoke Yiddish. The other film, Trees Cry for Rain, is about the Sephardic tradition. Jews that were expelled from Spain 500 years ago were taken in Turkey, and they retained their language, which was a 15th century form of Spanish.